But there are some things when it comes to giving a speech which they fail to tell you. For these things you have to listen and learn from experienced veteran Toastmasters. The educational today, What's Your Title, will be given by Advanced Communicator Gold, Dave Culton.
Thank you, George. Fellow Toastmasters, good morning. Good morning. If you open any Toastmaster manual and look at titles of speeches or importance of speeches or how to write a title, you will find nothing, nada, zip, zippo, zero. It doesn't exist. And that's too bad, because an introduction to a speech leading up to an attention-grabbing title is extremely important. So this morning, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the importance of a title for your speech and how to write a title. Sort of a pristine educational today. Point number one, always write down your introduction and your title and give it to the Toastmaster to read. One, you know the most about your speech and what you want said about it. And two, the Toastmaster on Wednesday morning has so much on his plate that frequently he screws up. It's true. How often have you seen this? The title for speech number one is Driving Miss Dizzy. That's Davy, no, Driving Miss Daisy. Please welcome Academy Award winner Morgan Freeman. Now sometimes the Toastmaster will screw up to the point where he misquotes or mispronounces your title. And if that happens, you need to say your title again. Or he may forget to give your title. That happens frequently. So it's important that you write out your introduction and your title and have the Toastmaster read it. Point number two, always have an attention-grabbing title. You want the audience, when they hear your introduction and your title, to say, hey, that's a speech I want to hear. That's how important the introduction and particularly the title is. And if you're in a contest, you won't have an introduction. You'll just have the title and your name. So the title is extremely important. What's a good title? The good, the bad, the ugly. That's a good title. The Beauty of Adversity, Jeremy's icebreaker. That's a good title. Don't make the title dull, banal, boring. Make it exciting. If you are going to, say, tell us about your unusual hobby, don't say, my unusual hobby, beekeeping. No. Say something like, to beekeep or not to beekeep? That is the question. That's more exciting. Surely, if she were to give a talk to the ladies on, say, makeup and accessories, don't say the value of makeup and accessories. Say something like, ladies, don't let your neck give away your age. Something like that. I've said this before, but one of my favorite titles I saw at a speech contest, and it was, Kiss Me, I'm Irish. And then Bill, an Asian fellow, got up and gave the speech. And he gave it on his mixed Chinese Celtic inheritance. Now you can imagine that before he even opened his mouth, he got quite a response. And I remember the speech was not all that good. Title? Third, make your speech title short. An audience cannot remember a long speech title. I've always liked Darren LaCroix's speech title for his award-winning speech called The Snake Bite. Think about that, the snake bite. What's he going to talk about? Was he bitten by a rattlesnake? Did he wrestle an anaconda on the Amazon? No, his speech was about his cheating girlfriend who dumped him and made him feel like he'd been bitten by a snake. The snake bite. Last week, Jim Spencer gave us a wonderful talk on the founders and signers of the Declaration of Independence and how they came to have just one vote and we got our revolution. Now his title was Their Lives, Their Fortunes, Their Sacred Oaths, which as I recall was not announced by the Toastmasters.
Yes.
But wouldn't that have been more intriguing had he said the power of one vote? It would have been. Now, Jim went on to win the contest against good competition, so what do I know? Huh? Well, I know it's better to have a short speech title than a long one. And finally, always make your speech title at the end of your speech. In other words, you can have a temporary speech title, but craft your speech and then look it over and write your title and put as much energy, creative energy, into writing that title as you do in crafting your speech. An example of that would be, well, Lance Miller, who's a champion Toastmaster speaker, has said, don't give away the speech in your title. In other words, titillate them, but don't give away the farm. And that's good advice, but I believe that your speech title should be pertinent enough that you can say it at the conclusion, so sort of make a circle of your speech. For instance, last week's speech would have been good with something like this. Your independence, your freedom, depended upon the power of one vote. What's your title? You make it short, you put it at the end. What have you done with it? Try it next time.